Our starting lineup, pole sitter Dave Steele, defending race champion. Lapped this place at 138.6 miles an hour in the 19. J.J. Yaley out of Phoenix in car number 9. Second row, veteran Tracy Hines in the 37. Jay Drake in car number 11. That's one of the Stuart Snyder cars. Third row, Brian Tyler in car number 21, the Team 6R machine. And Paul White, 2001 Silver Crown champion. B.J. Jones, Parnelli's son, in the fourth row, the other George Snyder car. Dave Darland in the 92, former Silver Crown champion. He'll line up in 8th spot. Fifth row, Dave Goff in the 82. And Bobby East, Bob's son, in one of Johnny Vance's cars, the Aristocrat number 3. Sixth row, Ron Gregory, youngster who was the midget rookie of the year, car number 48. And John Starks in the 98. He's from Colorado. In the 7th row, Ed Carpenter in car number 39. The Hoffmans taking that car over after Carpenter had problems in qualifying. Row 8, Bud Kading in the Deuce, the other Johnny Vance car. A.J. Fike in the 67. That's the Zarunian car. The 9th row, Donnie Schatz, World of Outlaws standout in the Parker Stores 115. Michael Lewis, who nearly won the midget race, in car number 85. The 10th row, Jason McCord, we met him earlier. Chet Phillip from Ozona, Texas, in his own number 77. Row number 11 here today, Bentley Warren, the great veteran, racing out of Kennebunkport, Maine these days, and Danny Everts in the 44. He's from California. Jimmy Kite from Stockbridge, Georgia. Russ Gamester from Indianapolis in car number 51. And the 13th row looks like this. Tyler Walker back in car number 35. And Eric Bootsy in the 09. Keep your eye on Tyler. He won the last chance race. The 14th row, Pancho's son Dane Carter in car number 7. Young Aaron Pierce in car number 26. The 15th row, Matt Westfall, one of the BWB cars. And Toby Tobias Jr. out of Pennsylvania in the 17. Tice Carlson makes it on a promoter's option. 100 miles to go. Davey Hamilton, here we go.
Here we go. What a great start for J.J. Yaley already, getting ahead of Steele. It is 100 laps, so the first lap, it counts, but doesn't mean everything.
Tracy Hines, Jay Drake right behind. Drake in that 11 car with a white nose. Dave Darland is right in there as well in the 92. Yaley in that white and red 9, off to a good start, riding with P.J. Jones in the 111, one of the George Snyder machines.
Oh, he saw on the wheel, you can see that right front tire on camera where he's turning back and forth, just getting the tires up to temperature, and just feeling everybody out right now, not making any crazy moves, but getting that car felt out and see what he can do.
Dave Steele is second, the pole sitter in that black number 19. Yaley from the outside of row 1 is the early leader as they arrow back into the dogleg down the backstretch here in Phoenix.
Those 3 guys right up front are going to be tough, and hopefully everybody can keep them in sight. I know some of the guys like Jason McCord, who we just talked about, who has a fast race car. He told me this morning that he felt like he could definitely come up and have a shot at winning, but he needs some help. He needs some yellow flags like the midget race had.
Steele takes a look at the bottom going into turn 1. Davey, we talked about during the midget race how that low line into 1 is not the quick way around. How about in the Silver Crown car? Does it help you to be at the bottom?
It's actually worse. These cars are heavier, so there's more weight. So it wants to slide up the racetrack even more, and you lose too much momentum. So even though Steele can get underneath of him, he does not have that momentum coming off the corner.
Leaders working out of the front straightaway. Here's Steele and Yaley. They are wheel to wheel into 1. Dave Argerbrot.
Well, these cars carry 500 pounds of fuel, basically, at the start of this race. Changes a hand.
Oh, trouble. Big wreck. The 3 car, Bobby East, hard into the wall. Bobby East up in turn 1, had it get away from him. He whacked the wall a ton. Bob's son out of Indianapolis, one of the Johnny Vance cars. He's knocked the left front, the whole front end out from under that.
You can see where he really tries to get that thing down below the line.
And you might think with the fuel load on the back of these cars, as it lightened up, it'd get better and it'd quit pushing. But actually, the right front tire is so small in comparison to the right rear. Once you overheat it and abuse it with the heavy fuel load and the car's too tight, you're never going to get it back, even when you get the fuel burn off.
Top 3 starting to bunch up once again. Steele, your leader in the black 19. Hines in the white and black 37. And Carpenter to the outside of the 39. He wants second spot here.
You know, this is a perfect time for Ed because those 2 guys battling, Ed just back there stalking them, going which way they're not, and then he has no risk. You know, he goes the way where they're not. Gives it a shot. Look at there. Goes right in second by Hines. What a great pass right there.
Yeah, he is strong right now, and he's shown a lot of patience. You haven't noticed his car sliding around any. And if this thing stays green for a while, they are going to get into some of the back markers. Maybe Ed can sit on these for a while.
Steele have a problem here. It looked like Steele slowed down in the middle of the corner.
I tell you what, I do think that he is getting looser and looser. The car just slid up the racetrack. He caught it, but he lost so much ground, and I just think that he is on the loose side, and Ed Carpenter's car still looks very stable and straight. So as you can see, Dave gets sideways there again. I think with 65 laps in out of 100, so I don't know if Dave has what it takes to hang on to win this thing.
Ed Carpenter qualified 13th, and he is up to second, and he appears to be tracking down the leader as they close in on Donnie Schatz to put him a lap down. Meantime, let's get an update from pit road. Dave Argabright.
Well, Rick, we learned that Bud Koenig is being transported to an area hospital, but it is nothing serious. A member of his crew told us that he suffered a minor laceration to his knee, and he's going to go into medical attention for that, and they expected to be released right away.
Good news, too. We talked to one of the USAC officials before the start today, and Dan Drynan, who was shaken up in that midget event earlier this weekend, he was taken to a local hospital after the midget race was over. They were just going to check him, and he survived one of the wildest wrecks that anyone can remember in a midget several years ago on a dirt track in the Midwest. He had some fractures in his upper spine, if I recall correctly, years ago, and they were checking to make sure that he was still okay from that. He was banged up in a few places, but nothing serious, we're glad to report. Meantime, a little further back, we check out that battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, all the way back to 12th spot. McCord in the 4 car, Knopfsinger in the 14. Brian Tyler's back there. Everybody's scrambling. Here comes Gregory in the 48. Gregory is 9th. Mike Lewis in the 85 car is 8th, and here comes McCord.
He's trying that high line that he talked about earlier, that he went up there and all of a sudden his car stuck. He's still trying that high line, trying to get by these guys, and he's in front of that pack, and that's where you want to be. If you're in a pack, you want to be in the front of it, and here he comes going on the outside of Gregory, it looks like.
Talked about Jason McCord at the top of this event. Dave Argabright went to his home. He's the new dad of triplets. That's quite a challenge, certainly. 19th on the grid here today. Making a move for 8th spot with 30 miles still to go.
He's wanting a yellow flag right now because the cars are spread out. He needs a little bit of help. There's no way that if it goes straight green that he can make up that much time to the leaders. But if a yellow flag comes out, it packs the guys right back up, and he's got another opportunity to still win this race.
Onto the front straightaway. Lap traffic is a factor. Tice Carlson holds his line. Everybody funnels by, and McCord has moved around Lewis for 8th spot. Here comes Chet Phillip in that 77. The dull black paint scheme on the nose.
Davey, you talked about needing a yellow. I talked to Brian Tyler this morning, and he was real confident with his car. The same with Michael Lewis, their teammates. And they were going to kind of sit and ride for a little while. They have made up some ground, but with it being a long run under green like this, and the cars have gotten spread out, the patience that they've shown earlier is not going to pay off because they'll be too far from the leader.
Absolutely. There's different strategies you can take. One of them is to lay back and save your car, save your tires, and hope at the end that you can have a yellow to pack back up and then give it what you got.
Here comes Steele now to the outside, rather, I'm sorry, not Steele, but Chet Phillip in the 77. Working on Michael Lewis there in the 85, one of the Crit Express Team 6R machines. He and Brian Tyler. Those yellow cars.
It's another thing, the Phillip brothers who build their own race cars, and it's a one-of-a-kind car. Nobody else has one. They just try to figure it out on their own. Their fun in racing is being able to design, build, do their own body work, do everything on their own, and that's their satisfaction. And he can win races, and he has won races, but he can't go off anybody else's setup or what anybody else is doing. It's all on their own.
Well, they also own Advanced Racing Suspensions in Indianapolis, a shock building company. Many of these teams utilize their shocks, and they kind of use their race car as a test vehicle. But like Davey said, they sure don't want to go buy a car from somebody. That's half the fun. We always kind of kid them about working real hard at having the race car that's not the prettiest out there, but it's got some of the neatest suspension gadgets on it. Every time they show up, something doesn't work, they take it back, change it, and go try again.
Up in front, Steele in the 19 continues to lead. Coming up 25 laps to go of the 100 miles here at Phoenix. Trying to hold back young Ed Carpenter in the 39. Coming up on Tyler Walker. Kurt Bagajani in 35. On board with Tyler. You can look at that lead battle. Different lines out of turn 2 here at Phoenix.
What a great view, being able to watch the leaders like you're right in front of them. That's a fun shot to be able to see what the leaders are going through, trying to get by lap traffic. Now, Steele wants him just to pull over and get out of the way, but unfortunately, that's not the way it works in this sport. You got to work your way around lap cars too.
Steele will try the inside. That's not usually the preferred way to pass here on the front straightaway. Carpenter says, hey, I may get a shot here.
Exactly right. Ed has nothing to lose. He goes where Dave doesn't, but then again, here comes Tracy, maybe trying to get him back.
Tracy Hines sitting back there third in the 37. Steele able to hang on to the top spot over Carpenter. Boy, these guys are getting after it. What a way to open the season here on speed. Down the front straightaway.
Even though this race is 100 laps, it's still a sprint race.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, Brian, as you know, we race these cars, and I never have just taken it easy. Even if you say you're going to, and you tried to, you're usually on the gas trying to go forward.
You only run a 100-mile race every now and then, and these guys run 30-lap races all summer long, all winter long, if they've got the chance to go down under. So the mentality is just to go as hard as you can for every lap, and it's difficult sometimes and Dave Steele, that's where he looks like he's going so hard, but he can still keep from wearing the tires out somehow.
Working lap number 79, Steele in that black 19 out of Tampa, Florida is your leader. Ed Carpenter from Indianapolis in the 39, running in second spot. Lapping by P.J. Jones in the 111, the Snyder car with a severe push. That car is way tight, you can tell.
Yeah, he's not having that much fun right now, I guarantee you.
P.J., one of my favorite guys in the sport. Certainly hoping to see him have a good run today. Just hasn't quite worked out that way. Coming up on 20 to go, we'll be back with more of the Silver Crown opener at Phoenix. Ready to restart at Phoenix. 8 laps to go as they come by Dave Argabright. What's going to happen to Dave Steele here?
Well, the crew was very concerned about the restart. He got a good restart. The car had not been functioning that well on restarts all afternoon, but what they just radioed Dave, his crew chief Bob and car owner Bob Grattan just told him on the radio, listen, if you don't overdrive it, you can win this thing.
Boy, we just seen Ed Carpenter had problems. He put his hand outside the cage, let everybody know that he's slowing down. Something must have happened to his car. Unfortunately, he was running so good, had opportunity to win, but something broken on Ed's car, looks like.
He's backpedaled all the way to 6th. Carpenter with a great drive had come from 13th to 2nd in the 39. He may not make it to the checkers. We were talking here during the break about how he's one of the few drivers up front still looking for his first career Silver Crown win. It won't come today either.
That's unfortunate. Something definitely broke in that car. It could have been in the drivetrain, everything hot. When you get back on the throttle, who knows what happened. But
it's hard to say. The Kaufmans may have a different fuel mileage in that car than they have in their own car. They may not have got enough fuel, and it was idling when it rode by. But maybe, like Davey said, it could be drive line, it could be fuel. It's hard to tell.
Coming up 5 laps to go. Next time by, Dave Darland in the black 92 car now is up to 3rd. J.J. Yaley slipped badly on the restart in the oil dry. He's back to 4th. The 11th car, Jay Drake, next in line. Paul White is back there in the 10. White was the 2001 Silver Crown champion. He opened his year here a year ago upside down on the front straightaway. He's on his way to a much better day as well.
Billy Warren and Chet Phillip both coming up a long ways. They're still running together in 7th and 8th, but they started way back in the field, and geez, I think they were like 15, 16 somewhere there.
Phillip, of course, a great veteran. He's raced in the Indy 500. He's raced in Winston Cup. He and his brother Corey have that suspension business we talked about earlier. Bentley Warren now racing out of Kennebunkport, Maine, in his own number 29, the working car. Bentley well into his 60s. One of my heroes in New England racing. That's the part of the country I hail from. And I can remember when I was a boy, Bentley was the king of the super modifieds in the Northeast. So to see him competitive here in these cars is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Watching the leaders head down into 3. Dave Argabright, what's happened to Ed Carpenter's car?
Well, crew chief Rob Hoffman just told us that they're not sure exactly what happened, but they believe they cut a right rear tire during that yellow flag.
That can happen with all the debris that might be on the track late in the race. Meantime, here comes Tracy Hines in the 37. 2 to go next time by. He's got the whip out. He's really putting pressure on Steele as they head toward 3.
He's going to give it everything he has, but back to the thing, Dave Steele, the lead of the race is not going to be that easy to pass, and you can see them both hanging the back of the cars out these last laps.
Well, I can tell you one thing. These guys were teammates with Bob Grattan for about a year and a half. Bob downsized his team, and Tracy was the odd man out, and Steele's still there. So I guarantee you that Tracy wants to pass Steele and make sure Bob knows he's still around.
Tracy certainly landed on his feet. That Indiana Underground team with the Mopar backing, certainly a very strong force, and they will be all year long in the Silver Crown Series. Here comes the white flag for David Steele out of Tampa, Florida, out of turn 4. 1 to go here at Phoenix. Tracy Hines about 4 car lengths back down into 1. Closes it up in 2. Where will he try him, Davey Hamilton?
Well, the only place he has now is try to drive into turn 3 deeper, try to get a little bit of a run on him, but I just think he's too far back. I don't think he'll be able to pull it off.
David Steele going for 2 in a row in the Silver Crown season opener here at Phoenix. Out of the final corner, coming to the stripe. David Steele, the pole sitter, will win the season opener in the Well Racing Silver Crown Series for the United States Auto Club. Dave Garland scores third. Yaley is fourth. Phillip in the 77 comes home fifth ahead of Drake. Bentley Warren seventh. White is eighth. Brian Tyler, Mike Lewis, and Russ Gamester, the first 11.